What's going on, everybody? Splatoon 3 has a huge problem and the game isn't even out yet. This is an issue that existed in Splatoon 2 and it was by far the most requested fix in anticipation of Splatoon 3 according to top players. Well, that and dedicated server play, but this one actually seemed doable. Today we're of course talking about input delay, which is an issue that affects every player at every skill level. If you don't know, input delay is the difference in time between when you hit a button on your controller and when it affects your game. No matter what, every game is going to have some input delay. Even retro consoles played on a CRT will have a little bit of delay, even if it's less than 1 frame. There are 2 factors that go into input delay: the amount of time it takes for the console to read and interpret your button press, and the response time of the monitor. HD monitors have a small processor inside of them that will tell every pixel what color they should be. And for older HD monitors or cheaper TVs, this processor might not be able to handle the signal instantly. Most newer models of HD monitors and TVs can handle it quite well, but if you have an older model, you might feel more input delay than usual. Going over all that will be important when I touch on the reasons why this is such a disappointing discovery. For now, let's talk about the proof we have that input delay is broken, just like it was in Splatoon 2. Now that Splatoon 3 World Premiere lets us do the tutorial, we can actually do the test ourselves. Pro player Vesper made a great post on Twitter comparing Splatoon 2 to Splatoon 3 using the same monitor and camera setup. And as you can see, the screen moves exactly the same time for both. Obviously, I went in myself to test it with the same setup and got the same result. It's clear that the input delay is exactly the same in Splatoon 3 as it was in Splatoon 2. This is a huge heartbreak to competitive players and speedrunners, who some claim the input delay is so bad they either quit altogether or went back to Splatoon 1. But if everyone has the same delay, it's not so bad, so why are competitive players so angry about this? The issue comes from the need to have as much control over the game as possible. Having input delay can ruin the experience in competitive games because it makes it extremely difficult to react to opponents. Not only that, but Splatoon is famously a gyro shooter, and the majority of competitive players use gyro controls to have higher precision when aiming and also be able to control the camera while jumping and moving. Since gyro controls are so incredibly precise in your hands, having any amount of delay is disorienting, because what you see on the screen isn't accurate to what you are doing with your hands. There is a reason people who play keyboard and mouse shooters strive to have crazy 1440p 240 FPS monitor setups. There's actually a competitive edge to being able to respond to the game more quickly. If you told a Valorant player they had to play with 100 milliseconds of mouse delay, they'd quit on the spot. In Splatoon 2, the input delay was so bad that it actually made suboptimal weapons more viable. Why would you use a weapon like the Splat Charger or Jet Squelcher when you can instead use the Tri-Slosher, Rapid Blaster, and Ink Brush, which do not require precise aim? There was a time in Splatoon 2's meta where nobody was using shooters because it's just too hard to aim properly. Having input delay has a real effect on the way we play the game, more than just aiming. The issue is most prevalent at high levels of charger play, since you need precise aiming at long range to hit your target, and you also need to be able to flick to your opponents. That flicking motion is incredibly difficult to do on a moving target in general, but timing it properly with 100 milliseconds of delay is nearly impossible to do consistently. I'm not going to cope about this. Nintendo is never going to fix this issue. It is something we're going to have to deal with for however long we play Splatoon 3. What makes it so frustrating is that the Switch Pro controller is more than capable of transmitting responsive gyro controls. It has been used in tons of games, even on the Switch. This is purely a problem with Splatoon's engine, and possibly due to some kind of motion smoothing effect they put on the controls. The fact that they didn't change it going into Splatoon 3 means it's heavily baked into the code, so we're just stuck like this. Quite the bummer. The only thing we can hope for is some slight changes to the motion smoothing to make it seem more responsive than it actually is. Some players like SRB2Dude have gone on record to say it at least feels different, but it's impossible to tell from personal anecdotes. This could also be a placebo effect just by having a new game in your hands and wishful thinking. I personally haven't noticed any difference in how the game plays. That being said, I played Splatoon 2 for thousands of hours and I know a lot of you did too. And if you don't mind the motion delay or haven't even noticed it, you probably will be fine in Splatoon 3. It's by no means a game breaker, but it is important to players like myself who are very sensitive to input delay since I've been doing speedruns for 7 years. What do you guys think about this issue? Is it something you care about, or are you just going to play and enjoy a game about squids? Let me know in the comments below, and if you want to see some more Splatoon 3 breakdowns and content, hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching, and have a nice day.